not be confused today, because although the world seems to remain the same on the surface, something has already begun to move. On July 31st, he did not arrive with the rumble of fireworks or eclipses to announce it to the entire world. But those who are already awake feel it in the depths of their being. And when August arrives, many will ask why everything began to change without having noticed it. What is to come is not a simple event. It is a silent turning point that only the chosen ones manage to perceive. The change is here, and it is not reversed. Those who paid attention today will be 2 steps forward when the rest of the world just begins to wake up. What is about to start has no comparison. It is much larger than you can imagine, and you are already feeling it, although you still cannot name it. It is not anxiety, nor tiredness, nor stress. It is something much deeper that is moving inside you. It is as if an invisible energy were activating, pushing you to something that you do not understand completely, but that you know without a doubt that is happening. If you are seeing this now, it is because that energy already began to move in you. You may feel it as a pressure in the chest, an inexplicable restlessness that is installed in your body, accelerated thoughts, as if something inside you was waiting for something to happen, but without being able to explain it with words. Something is being activated. Something is crossing the threshold of your life. And although the world continues as if nothing had changed, within you, something is waking up. If you feel this, it's no accident. You are receiving this message for a reason. The change is touching your door, and there is no going back. Comment 777 if you are feeling this energy, and share what your intuition has been telling you lately. This message is for you if you are receiving it, because the universe has guided you here. Don't ignore what is happening inside you. What is happening is not something you can control. It is not something you can stop. It is a cosmic process that has already begun and is touching your life deeply. You feel an energy that cannot be explained, a pressure that accumulates in your chest, a weight that seems to be inside you, but you don't know where it comes from. It is not a burden, it is a movement. It is the energy of an awakening that is restructuring everything you thought it was true. Everything you knew is beginning to change, and you, unintentionally, you are part of this change. It is as if you are crossing an invisible line, a line that no longer allows you to go back. What is moving within you is not something you can force or understand with your mind, because it is not a mental process. It is energetic, it is spiritual. You feel it in your body, in your emotions, in your thoughts that accelerate, in your decisions that seem more and more urgent. You may think that what you feel is an inexplicable anxiety, but it is not. What you are living is an activation, and although it hurts, even if you don't understand why, it is exactly what you need at this time to advance. It is an alignment process, a recalibration that is happening in the depths of your being. The old structures, the beliefs that no longer serve you, are falling. The cycles that you thought endless, which you thought you could fix when you were ready, have already closed. And the universe is not waiting anymore. It is not waiting for you to be ready. The moment is now. That is why you cannot ignore it. That rare feeling you feel, that invisible pressure, that need to move, is the energy that is in you, pushing you towards something bigger, something that is far beyond what you can see with your eyes. If you are feeling all this, it is because it is already happening. You don't have to understand everything, just accept it. This moment is a breakdown, a transition between what it was and what is to come. If you are experiencing sensations that you cannot explain, if you feel uncomfortable or displaced, it is because the universe is taking you exactly where you need to be, although you still cannot see it. The old patterns, the old fears, the limiting beliefs, everything that is no longer part of your path is beginning to crumble. And although this can cause uncertainty, even discomfort, it is the sign that you are moving forward, that you are growing. You are not yesterday, nor will you be the same tomorrow. You are in the middle of a deep transformation, an energy recalibration that is restructuring your life in a way that you may not yet understand, but that will inevitably lead you to your destiny. Are you feeling that things don't fit as before? That the places that used to give you peace now seem strange? It is not a coincidence. It is the reflection of an internal change. What was once familiar to you now feels distant, and it is not because you have changed, but because your energy is ascending. It is raising towards a new frequency. You can no longer stay in the same place because the energy you are expressing no longer vibrates with the old. This is the time to free yourself from what retains you, from what drags you back. Do not resist this process, even if you feel fear. The energy that is in motion within you is the one that is taking you to a better place, more aligned with your authentic being. People and situations that no longer resonate with you will begin to move away naturally. Do not hold on, because this detachment is necessary for your evolution. You are being guided, even if you don't always see it immediately. Stay open and confident, because what is coming is much larger than you imagine. It is possible that at this time you feel that everything you have lived so far, all efforts, struggles, sacrifices, are being put to the test. Maybe fear looks out. You may feel tempted to step back, but I want you to remember something deeply. Every time fear is presented, it is because something big is about to happen. Fear is not an enemy, but a sign that you are on the verge of a great change, a quantum leap in your evolution. If you are seeing this, it is because the universe has already chosen you to walk along this transformation path. The trip you are about to undertake requires courage, but above all, it requires confidence in yourself and in the process you are living. You may not see everything clear, but you should know that everything that is happening has a purpose. What you are leaving behind, what is falling from your life, has no place in your new vibration. Do not cling to what no longer belongs to your future. Do not fight against the current, because that fight only extends the inevitable. This is the time to release, to free, to trust that what is on the way is much better. And although the transition may seem uncertain, remember that the most beautiful thing in this process is that you are not alone. Each being that is aligned with the light, with its essence, is going through this same process. We are all connected. We are all echoing with the same frequency of change. If you have ever felt alone, or have believed that you are fighting alone, I want you to know that this is the time when invisible forces, cosmic energy, are working with you. You just have to be willing to open your heart and allow the flow of life to take you where you should be. Trust what is coming, because what awaits you is the manifestation of everything you have worked, although you still cannot see it in its entirety. It is possible that in the midst of this transformation process, you are questioning many things. The questions arise, the doubts multiply, and what once seemed safe now disintegrates before your eyes. You feel as if everything you thought could crumble, as if the basis on which you built your life began to get rid of. But I want you to know something very important. This is the phase of liberation. Everything that goes, everything that falls, is not a loss. It is a space that opens for the new. You should not fear change, because change is the force that drives you towards expansion. Every time something goes from your life, it is not because the fate has taken it to you, but because you have released it so that something bigger, something more aligned with your essence, can enter. This is the time when your soul is experiencing a deep adjustment. The emotions that arise, the thoughts that assault you are part of this process, but are not the ultimate truth. They are just the layers that are being released, the fears that are being dissolved. Don't hold on to them. Do not cling to nostalgia, memories, to the stories of the past, all that only keeps you anchored at a frequency that no longer belongs to you. True release comes when you allow yourself to witness what is going, without attachment, without resistance. This is time to hug the void, because in a vacuum, it is where the opportunity to create something new, something better is found. You have everything you need to move towards the life you deserve, Don't look back. The future is waiting for you and is much brighter than you imagine. So if at this moment you feel lost or disoriented, just breathe and remember, all you're going through is only the preamble of the manifestation of your deepest truth. Don't despair. Let yourself flow with what is happening and trust, because what is coming is exactly what your soul needs to evolve. While you face this transformation phase, you may feel growing pressure within yourself, something that drives you to move, to act, to make decisions that may have avoided before. This internal energy, although sometimes it can be perceived as overwhelming or even uncomfortable, is in fact a reflection of the awakening of your true being. It is not a simple desire for superficial change, but a deep call from your soul that asks you to advance, which guides you through uncertainty. Maybe you feel impatient, as if they were accelerating, and as if in some way everything was happening too fast. But I want you to remember something fundamental. Time is not linear. And even if you think you are not prepared, even if you think you are not ready yet, the universe knows what you are experiencing and is orchestrating each of the moments of your life so that in the end, you arrive just where you need to be. This pressure you feel is not an obstacle. It is a portal that is opening you to a new way of being. Sometimes, when everything seems so intense, and when you cannot clearly see the next step, it is easy to fall into the trap of doubt and insecurity. But this is not the time to stop. This is the time to move forward. Even if you don't see the way clearly, your intuition will be the one that guides you. Do you feel that need to jump, to free yourself from old patterns? Listen to it, because that feeling is your soul aligning with its purpose. Do not be afraid of the unknown, because what awaits you is much bigger than what you have known. What is about to come is not about controlling the future, but about trusting the process in the energy that is working in your favor. So if you are currently tempted to go back, to stay comfortable, remember that what is happening within you is more powerful than any external fear. Choose trust, choose to advance, because everything you need is within you, and everything is happening in your perfect time. In this internal alignment process, you can feel increasingly sensitive to what happens around you. The situations and people who seem familiar before may seem strange, out of place, as if you had changed frequency. This is a common symptom when we begin to connect more deeply with our inner being. The energies that surround us are like a mirror of our internal state, and as we transform ourselves, we begin to see the reflexes of our own vibration. It may be uncomfortable to note how certain people no longer resonate with you, how some connections feel empty or even heavy. Do not be alarmed, because this is a clear sign that you are in an expansion process. Your energy can no longer share space with frequencies that are not aligned with the new version of yourself that you are revealing. Some relationships, although they were important at the time, can begin to feel more like a ballast than a source of support. And although it can hurt, this is an essential step in your evolution. It is not about rejecting people, but about allowing your energy to continue their course without limitations, without ties to which no longer helps you grow. And this is where the transformation becomes even deeper. In the moments of releasing the old, of letting go what is no longer useful, it is when you really open yourself to the new. You may feel alone or misunderstood, but it is just a sign that you are reconfiguring yourself, preparing for a new stage of your life, a stage that can only come when you allow you to free what you no longer vibrate with you. This is a process that requires courage, because releasing the known is never easy. However, it is the only way to open space for the new. If you are feeling that pressure to release, to leave behind what is no longer useful, do not hesitate to follow that impulse. You are on the right path. It is possible that in the next few days, you begin to experience a strong impulse of liberation, something deep within you that demands to be heard. This is the time where your soul asks you to move on, not stop. Do not let external distractions cloud your internal clarity. It is as if a deep call resonates from the bottom of your being, asking for a radical change. However, this change is not always noisy. It is not always visible to the outer eye. The spiritual transformation is much more subtle than we would like to believe. Sometimes it is presented as an internal stillness, a calm that precedes the expansion storm that you are about to experience. In this process, you will be in front of decisions that you would have postponed before, but now they feel urgent, necessary. It is not about making decisions from fear or external pressure, but from a deep understanding of what your soul really needs to follow its path. Here, what seems like a crisis is actually a disguised opportunity. Some doors may be closed suddenly, and although at first you can feel the impact of those doors closing, you must understand that it is not a rejection, but a divine protection. The universe does not close a door without opening another that is much more aligned with your superior purpose. Do not cling to what is going, because what is going to do not belong to the version you are about to be. The fear and resistance you can feel are just shadows of the past trying to hold on, but they no longer have power over you. The energy that begins to move in your life is an energy of deep change and healing. Do not resist this flow. Understand that the purification process can be uncomfortable, but it is absolutely necessary for your evolution. And if you feel that internal pressure, if you feel that feeling that something big is about to happen, do not hesitate. It is not a false alarm. It is the energy of the universe pushing you towards a new level of consciousness. If you feel that powerful energy moving inside you, eat it in the comments and write Tune 22, because that is a reminder that you are exactly where you need to be. The transformation does not happen instantaneously, but the change has already begun. And you, dear to be light, you are beginning to feel the first echoes of that metamorphosis. In the process of transformation you are going through, you may question your purpose, your decisions, or even the people around you. The energy is working at a deep level within you, and what before seemed so safe and stable now feels fragile, almost as if they were falling apart. Do not be alarmed, dear to be of light, because this is only the manifestation of the change that is already in progress. When a new vibration is being activated within you, everything that no longer resonates, that frequency, begins to disintegrate. It is as if suddenly you will find a reflection of yourself that no longer fits what you used to be, and that's fine. In fact, it is a clear sign that something much bigger is taking shape within your being. The changes that are taking place within you are not easy to understand at this time. You may feel discomfort, as if you couldn't find your place in the world. But remember that the real spiritual awakening is not about finding something out of you, but about returning to your essence, of reconnecting with the infinite force that has always been within you. And although it may seem confusing or chaotic, everything is happening to align with your true mission. If you have been feeling a growing need to release things, people, or even situations that seemed fundamental in your life, it is because your soul is no longer tuned to them. These separations do not always have to be dramatic or painful. Sometimes they simply occur without prior notice, and that is part of the process. Do not hold on to the past, because what is ahead is much more aligned with what you are truly. Remember, change is not something you should fear. It is just the sign that you are ready to take a step towards something much bigger. If at this moment you feel that something within you is transforming, write 333 in the comments and share it with the community. Because if something resonates in you, it is because you are being called to act, to follow your way without fear. You are not alone in this, and together, as a community, we can raise ourselves to the new frequency that is waiting to be activated in us. In this trip to the transformation, you may have noticed that certain emotions and thoughts seem to emerge without prior notice, overflowing your mind and your heart. Have you wondered why? Despite your efforts to move forward, do you feel something that stops you? That feeling, so inexplicable and confusing, is the resistance of the old self, that part of you that is not yet ready to free itself. It is as if you were caught between two worlds, the old and the new one, and it is difficult for you to take the next step. But it is important to understand that resistance is not a bad thing. It is simply a reflection of fear of the unknown, of the uncertainty that the change brings. This is a crucial point, a crossroads on your trip where you must make conscious decisions about how you want to evolve. And this is where the awareness of the present becomes your greatest ally. The future is built in every decision you make now, in each impulse you decide to follow, in every word you decide to say. The energy you are experiencing is not a simple discomfort. It is the necessary pressure to forge a new reality, a new version of you. If you have felt disconnected from your old routines, from your old thought patterns, or even the people you once considered close, do not worry. It is simply the sign that you are leaving behind what does not belong to you, which does not work for you. And although at first that may seem painful, it is actually a blessing disguised. Remember, everything you are experiencing is now designed to raise you, to align with your highest purpose. This is the time to release, to allow the new to enter your life. If you feel that this process is taking you to a new phase, towards something bigger, write 5555 in the comments and share your experience. This is the sign that the change is underway, and you are feeling it deeply in your being. It is likely that going through this transformation, you feel in some moments as if you were walking along an unknown path, with more questions than answers. But it is precisely in this uncertainty where true magic begins. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to understand everything that is happening to take the next step. The truth is that when you release the control and allow your inner being to guide the way, the pieces begin to fit. You may have already noticed that people, circumstances, and opportunities begin to align mysteriously, as if the universe were adjusting reality in your favor. That once it seemed out of your reach, now it seems slowly. Do not worry if at times you feel that everything is confusing or that you are losing the course. Clarity will arrive when you least expect it, through small flashes of wisdom that sprout from the deepest of your being. This whole process is part of an energy adjustment that is preparing you for what is to come. Remember that life is not about finding the answers immediately, but about trusting that everything will be revealed in due time. What seems dark now will light when you stop clinging to expectations, when you trust the natural flow of energies. The key is to learn to be present, to accept what it is, and to allow you to be guided by what it resonates with your soul. If you feel that this message is playing something inside you, that your heart is beating stronger when listening to these words, write 1 to 11 in the comments. This is a reminder that you are on the right path, that everything you are living is a sign that the awakening is already underway. As you continue to open up to this new reality, remember, transformation is not a destination, it is a trip. And every step you take closer to the highest version of yourself. What you are experiencing at this time, that feeling of being disconnected or misaligned with the world you used to know, is simply a manifestation of your expanding energy. It is as if you are crossing a door towards a higher, more vibrant reality, where everything that no longer belongs to you begins to fall. This process is not easy, and in fact it can be terrifying, because what you knew no longer serves you. The relationships, environments, and beliefs that once formed your reality no longer vibrate with you. Do not be alarmed if you are moving away from what you used to consider your comfort zone. This is the time to make room for the new, to free yourself from the old, to be able to receive what really corresponds to you in this new stage. Your energy is aligning with a higher frequency, which sometimes translates into feeling more sensitive, more introspective, and less willing to tolerate the old energies that you previously missed. The places, the people, and even the activities that previously made you feel good now may seem empty, as if you are feeling an echo of something that is no longer. This process is vital for your growth. He is preparing you to take your place in the world from a place of authenticity, from your deepest truth. It is the universe telling you that you can no longer stay in the same place, that you can no longer live with the energies that do not represent you. This is time to free yourself. If you feel it, if this feeling is touching your heart, I invite you to write 444 in the comments. This is a sign that you are in the transformation process, that everything you are letting go is being replaced by something much more aligned with your essential being. Trust this process, even if you do not understand it in its entirety. Remember, what you are losing was not yours, and what is yet to come is exactly what you need to continue growing. Let the energy flow and allow yourself to feel the freedom that comes with release. When you experience this type of disconnection, it is not only the environment that is changing, it is your internal vibration. There is something inside you that is pushing you to recognize your power, to embrace that deep truth that you have kept so long. If you feel as if you are crossing a threshold, as if you were about to jump into a new version of yourself, do not scare yourself. It is completely natural. This change is not always obvious to the outer eye, but you feel it. Your internal being is awakening, and although sometimes the transition may seem confusing or even painful, it is the sign that you are leaving behind what is no longer useful. You are making space for something bigger, something more aligned with the frequency of the universe. The old energy is beginning to fade, but it is important to remember that this is not a vacuum, but an opening. What you are leaving behind has no place in your life because it is not in tune with the vibration to which you are ascending. The relationships that are distancing, the situations that no longer attract you, all this is happening to make room for the new. Do not fight against it. On the contrary, embrace the change with gratitude and acceptance, because everything that is moving out of your life is only being replaced by what will raise you even more. This process, although it can be uncomfortable, is the result of your soul freeing from the bonds of the past. What comes towards you is a new opportunity to vibrate higher, to connect with what really belongs to you. If you feel it, if you are experiencing this readjustment in your life, let it know in the comments. Write 888 to show the universe that you are ready for this new vibration, for this new version of yourself, and that you no longer fear the changes that are coming. The universe is talking through every small detail that surrounds you, even in what appears to be a simple slip or unexpected change. Everything that seems not to fit is, in reality, an alignment in your path. At this point, many people feel tempted to continue what they know, to maintain what is comfortable, but you are not here to settle for the known. The change process can make you feel unstable, as if the ground under your feet was constantly changing, but that instability is, in fact, a blessing disguised. What is happening now is a deep readjustment that needs to be received without fear. Life is not throwing chaos. It is showing you exactly what no longer belongs to your new frequency. Everything that fades is creating the necessary space for your energy to expand and align with what is really intended for you. People who no longer resonate with your energy will move away naturally without you having to do anything. It is not about cutting relationships or rejecting what is no longer useful. It is about allowing everything to flow towards its place, so that only what is vibrating in the same frequency as you are on your way. And if you feel that internal pressure, that feeling that things are not as they should, remember that the transformation process is not something you can completely control. What you can do is allow what should leave, and what should arrive. If you feel that the universe is resetting your life to align with your purpose, and if this message is resonating in your heart, leave a comment with 333. Thus, the universe will know that you are willing to receive this adjustment with gratitude and trust. It is the time when everything you had kept, Everything you thought you could expect begins to take shape, and you cannot do anything to avoid it. Life, like a powerful river, will no longer allow you to flow to where you used to go before. Something inside you knows that the waiting time is over. That strange sensation of discomfort is not a sign of weakness, but of expanding power. The fears that you once felt like giants are now falling apart, because what is coming can no longer be contained. What you were standing, is now asking you to stop holding it. The places and people who seemed familiar to you now seem oblivious, as if suddenly you had changed places without knowing how. This energy level adjustment is inevitable. The soul knows what it needs and does not have time to wait for the mind to understand. There is something much bigger moving in you, something that has no logical explanation, but that resonates deeply in your being. And if you look at it from a broader perspective, you will realize that it is not chaos that is happening. It is the divine alignment. The universe does not make mistakes, and you haven't done it either. Do not stop at momentary confusion. The discomfort you feel is only the space that is being created for your expansion. What seemed an obstacle is just a change of direction, a door closing to open a much more aligned with your true essence. Everything that happens in the next few days will be a signal for you to continue, even if you do not understand it completely. This is an energy adjustment, a movement that the mind cannot control, but the soul is already taking the reins. You are at a critical point where there is no reversal. Each step that you give now is a reaffirmation of your authenticity. What kept you captive, what you felt that you should hold or protect, now begins to fade. You realize that the old structures that you thought solid no longer serve. Connections, people, circumstances, everything begins to crumble almost imperceptibly. It is not the end, it is just the beginning of something much bigger. There is an invisible energy that pushes you, a vibration that forces you to release, to free, to detach yourself from what is no longer part of your destiny. The people who thought they would be on your way forever begin to move away, not by their own will, but because the energies have changed. They no longer vibrate on the same frequency as you. Your energy field is being recalibrated, and that implies that some people, even some relationships that were important to you, will simply stop resonating. And no, there is no need to find answers or try to force things. Life is being reorganized, subtle but powerful, to make way for what really matters, what is aligned with your soul. This process may seem painful because it involves letting the known comfortable, but that is the essential part of growth. The fear of the unknown is natural, but do not allow me to stop. The key now is to move with faith, with confidence that everything is happening for a reason. The energy of the universe is being aligned in your favor, and even if you do not see everything clearly, every step you take brings you closer to your true essence. On this trip, every decision you make will have a direct impact on your future. Each choice is a seed that will be planted and flourished at the perfect time. Don't hurry to understand everything now. The process is developing at its own pace, and all you need to do is flow with it. Every time you feel that the road becomes more difficult, remember that you are not alone. The external forces may challenge you, but what is happening within you is much more powerful. You are experiencing a deep activation, one that is taking you to a place where the truth can no longer be ignored. At this time, everything that is happening around you is a manifestation of what is already being transformed into you. The universe is responding to your vibration, your thoughts, your emotions, and is pushing you towards the manifestation of your most authentic being. There is no going back, because what is within you can no longer be silenced. Every choice you do now, every thought, every word, is being aligned with an energy that is being manifested much more intensely. It is a time for liberation, a time to let go what is no longer useful. The old beliefs, the old limitations, the old versions of yourself are beginning to crumble. Sometimes you will feel the temptation to hold on to the familiar, to the known, but that is the mind trying to hold on to what has been comfortable. The soul knows that the expansion is beyond the comfort zone, and that is why now it is when you should trust what you feel, even if you do not have all the answers. As your frequency rises, people, situations, and experiences that do not resonate with your new vibration will begin to move away. This is not a loss. It is a cosmic reorganization, a natural adjustment of the universe to align you with what is really intended for you. Let yourself be released, allowing the flow of life to take you, trusting that everything that is going is because it is making space for something much better, much more aligned with your essence. The expansion comes with a certain discomfort, but that discomfort is simply the sign that you are growing. The energies you are feeling at this time are only the beginning of what is to come, and if you hug them with faith, they will guide you towards the highest purpose of your soul. And now, when you reach the end of this process, it is important to remember that everything you have lived, every change, every disconnection, each internal struggle, has taken you exactly at this time. This is the threshold of your transformation, the point where you can no longer return to what you were, nor to what you thought you should be. What is happening now in your life is not an accident or a coincidence. Everything has a divine purpose, although you may not yet see it in its entirety. You are aligning with the energy of your soul, and that has deep consequences. The signals you receive, although invisible to others, are marking the pattern of what is to come. The change, although subtle, is inevitable. You have opened to new dimensions of consciousness, to new paths that previously seemed unattainable, and that awakening is expanding beyond what you imagined. The truth is that you can no longer ignore the energy that surrounds you, the vibration you're holding, and the decisions you're making. If you felt that everything was confusing, now you know that clarity is just around the corner. However, this clarity will not be easy to carry. It will challenge you to move on, even when everything in your environment asks you to stop. The force that is being activated within you does not ask permission. It does not wait for you to feel prepared. Simply progress, crawling towards your destiny with unwavering force. Although sometimes you feel that the road is uncertain, remember that things do not happen by chance. Everything that surrounds you, even the people you cross in your life, are here for a reason. They, like you, are receiving their own activations, their own signals. The difference is that now you know how to listen to those signs. You are no longer the same, and that transformation, although deep, is taking you to a version of yourself that was always destined to shine. And when you finally get to that place of expansion, when everything is perfectly aligned, you will know that this is only the beginning of a much bigger trip, one that has no return. Remember that every step you take now is taking you to a new truth, and that truth will be your guide, no matter what comes, because you are no longer alone. The universe is with you, guiding you with love, and now you know that, through each challenge, of each uncertainty, you are being taken to your greatest purpose. Trust, breathe, and allow energy to flow. The trip is just starting.